scary stories and returning to the subreddit named TIFU. Today I effed up. You guys seem to enjoy the first time we looked at these stories, so I figured I enjoyed making the video as well, so we're returning, and I've got, how many have I got? I've found 6 stories. I have no idea whether they're going to be good. I am simply basing my judgment on the score that they've got on Reddit and the title. That is it. I've briefly skimmed to see how long they all are, but I reckon let's get straight into story number 1. So this first story is titled TIFU by Hiding My Friend's Story from My Boyfriend. Bit of relationship drama. I, 22-year-old female, have been dating my boyfriend, 24, for 3 years and a half now. Even though our relationship has its ups and downs, I've always loved him and have never cheated on him. My boyfriend has this habit of not trusting me and accusing me of hiding things from him, even though I always make sure to tell him every single detail about every encounter, friendship, conversation I have, because I know what it feels like to be insecure, and I would never want to give him a reason to think I'm being dishonest with him. However, he never liked my girlfriends nor my boyfriends, because he thinks the first are hoes. They are all single and just living life, which, even if they are hoes, I don't know how that would impact who I am. And because he thinks that the seconds would hit if they ever get the chance to. Now to the issue. One day, my boyfriend and I got into a fight because I wanted to go clubbing with my friends and didn't invite him. My reasoning is that he doesn't like them and he only talks smack about them. So why would you want to take someone out with someone I've already said they don't like? Fair point. He, on the other hand, was annoyed because he thought that I was trying to do something behind his back. Our argument escalated and it ended up in a big fight. This took place on Friday night. The club was not until Saturday. After the fight, I left to have a coffee with my friends when one of my girlfriends took an Instagram story of all of us just chatting and posted it. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, my boyfriend has this habit of misunderstanding things and taking them out of their context. I was afraid that he would think that I went out even when we were fighting to annoy him. I was afraid he would block me and stop talking to me, which he does a lot. This guy sounds like a right bundle of fun, doesn't he? So this is where I might have effed up. I asked my friend to hide her story from my boyfriend for the night. I know that wasn't my smartest move. He one day found out what I did via a voice message I sent her about how he didn't find out about that night and that she forgot to remove the hide. He got so annoyed and thought that I'm hiding something major from him, even though I offered to call my friend so she can show him the archive of the stories on that night or any other night. He broke things off with me and he wouldn't talk to me. So, did I F up? She's added an edit as well saying, I think I should mention, he found the conversation after going through my Instagram behind my back when I'm at work. I talk freely with my girlfriends on Instagram because I would have never thought that he would want to read the conversations. Also, this is the first time that he does this, except when he asks to read a conversation with a guy, and I always hand him the phone because I have nothing else to hide. Additional info, blimey. This is not the first time that he gaslights me or leaves without letting me even explain myself. I try to explain where I'm coming from and give him an any messages he wants to read or show him what my friend has been posting for the last couple of weeks. He didn't listen. He always does this. He love bombs me. Then when the smallest argument happens, he lashes out, calls me the ugliest names and leaves. He then blocks me on everything, until I go look for him and beg him to talk to me several times. I know this relationship is toxic, but at times when it's good, it's really good. It makes me never want to leave. Like, this was meant to be a sort of light-hearted video, but I'm gonna give you some advice like she's watching, but I mean, just from reading that, she is far better off without him. Being insecure is one thing, but using that as an excuse to be toxic and manipulative and controlling is a completely other thing. You've dodged a bullet, and even if the times are really good, you'll find somebody else where you have the really good times, and none of that toxic rubbish. I never really understand that, and I'd get it to an extent during like maybe their first year together, but 3.5 years is a long time. If there was ever going to be trust built up, it would have been done by then, so move on. I wonder what any of the comments say. The first one is stay broken up and I swear you will never feel more free in your life. Basically what I said. Okay, so we begin with some lovely relationship advice. You know what, I feel like this one's gonna be a funny one, so let's do this. TIFU, camping mishap, is the title of this one. So, okay, let's set the scene. My girlfriend and I thought we'd go camping as a fun date and went to a somewhat local woods. Not the first time we'd been, so we had a general idea of what we were doing, and we had an awesome time. Gas stove and snacks galore with a few beers in the great outdoors. We were using a poncho, which is basically just a waterproof sheet that goes over the top with no sides, not a fully enclosed tent. Anyway, the fun part, before we're about to settle in for a glorious night of blanket tug-of-war in the trees, the overwhelming urge to go and relieve myself needs addressing. Baby wipes in hand, I venture into the darkness and find a good spot to release a considerably runny poo. Unpleasant, but necessary. This guy should write novels, this is incredible. Clean myself up and head back to get my head down without any problems. The next morning we wake up, not in any particular rush. We're sitting under the poncho and I hear a lady shout something about her dog, which is running towards us, which could have been bad. No lead, which is fine because she probably wasn't expecting to find people camping on her dog walk. So immediately I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the most friendly, but he seemed nice enough at first. She shouts again, and I hear her this time warning us of her dirty dog. What I was not expecting when the curious fluffer arrived to say hello and investigate our little area was the dog's face smothered in poo. He's poking his head in and around everywhere, but luckily only got a little on the blanket. She promptly apologised, saying he rolled in something nasty. I know where this is going. Put its lead back on and away they go with more apologies. My girlfriend then gets a baby wipe and wipes the blanket down while I feel panic set in as realisation comes across my mind that she's wiping up my poo from the night before that the dog had obviously found and thought was rather interesting. I went for a quick wee to basically confirm my worst nightmare, and surely enough I was not wrong. I then proceed to explain to my girlfriend what knowledge I had just acquired, and thankfully instead of vomit and disgust, she laughs for a good 10 minutes at how ridiculous that just was, and the fact that poor woman was saying sorry to us after I sauce. Gather round, friends, and let me tell you a story of ill-advised mixology, daring bluffs, and a host of glamorous and not-so-glamorous exploits. I'd like to apologise in advance for... That's... so they've put for my typos, so being funny. My hands are rather shaky at the moment for reasons that will soon become apparent. The time was 7 p.m. today. I was sitting in a lecture hall, struggling to stay awake. I still had 2 hours of class to get through, and the teacher's droning, soporific voice was doing a grave disservice to what should have been a fascinating topic. I wasn't concerned, though. I had a secret weapon. I reached into my bag and retrieved the vial of Captain Cow's particularly potent pick-me-up potion. That's some good ASMR there. Captain Cow's particularly potent pick-me-up potion, pick-me-up potion. I had prepared this morning. I uncorked the bottle and took a small sip of the cloudy red liquid inside. It burned my throat and the acrid bitter taste clung to my lips. It took half a bottle of water to purge the evil flavours from my mouth. But then, this stuff wasn't supposed to taste good, it was supposed to get results. I sat and waited eagerly for it to take effect. Half an hour later, the temptation to drift off to sleep was still there, clouding my mind and weighing down my eyelids. I decided I needed a little more juice. This time I took a hearty mouthful, forcing it down my throat despite my body's protest. That, dear reader, was a mistake. At this point, we should rewind a few years for some much needed context. This is the part of the story with the daring bluff and the glamorous exploits. I graduated high school with the help of prescription stimulants which were only prescribed for a short time. I took them on an as-needed basis and squirreled the excess away for a rainy day. Fast forward a few years to the rainiest rainy day in recent history, the pandemic. The collective mental health of the world took a nosedive and I was right there with everyone else, plummeting toward rock bottom. I remembered how well prescription stimulants had worked for me in the past, but I didn't want to exhaust my dwindling stash or pay exorbitant prices for street Adderall, so I started looking into alternatives. Dear reader, did you know you can just go on the internet and buy a canister of pure laboratory-grade caffeine? I didn't, until one fateful night in December of last year. I sat staring at my computer screen, my mind awash with new hope and anticipation. I added the canister to my cart and pressed the big green button. As it turns out, ordering stimulants, even legal ones, from an industrial biochemical supply company isn't as simple as just push the big green button. They wanted to know that I was a responsible scientist, working with a reputable research institution and not, for example, a burnt-out college student trying to impulse buy enough caffeine to kill a horse. I sat staring at the form for a while, wondering if I was the kind of person who would try to bluff their way through a background check to order soft drugs from a chemical supply company. The bottle of single malt on my desk cast the deciding vote. I woke up the next morning feeling bright and chipper. My brain was designed to be alcoholic. I get anti-hangovers. Gosh. I sat down at my computer and checked my email. One new message from a contact at a biochemical supply company. The events of the previous night came flooding back to me. Oh, that's some rude words there. Oh damn, I thought. They must have followed up with the school. I'm probably about to be expelled. Heart pounding, I opened the email. Dear Cal, it read, we're writing to inform you that your recent request to be added to the list of authorised purchases for Cal College has been approved. Click this link to complete your order. I stared access, but I was an exception because I was good at picking locks. I saved my declining grades. I graduated. I decided to take more classes. This guy is fantastic. Which brings us to today, when I decided a swig of Mama Moo's probably potable pet potation was exactly what I needed to make it through my evening class. Mama Moo's probably potable pet potation. Mama Moo's probably potable pet potation. So Cal, I hear you ask, what was in this mysterious mixture? Everything. I reply with a shameful grimace. Everything was in it. It was half espresso and half Tabasco sauce, fortified with pure caffeine, amphetamine, nicotine, and methylphenidate. Oh gosh, one sip is the equivalent of washing down a Ritalin and half an Adderall with 12 cups of coffee. A shot glass of the stuff would send an adult into ventricular fibrillation. It's an unholy blend of stimulants and capsaicin in an acid bath. It's an ill-advised, irresponsible, and most certainly illegal elixir of inexorable anxious energy. It should never be imbibed. It should be sealed in a lead-lined box to protect future generations. It's a crime against nature. I should be locked up for creating it. So now I lie here in my bed, taking long, deep breaths, trying to keep my mind and body under control while the concoction slowly drains from my system. My muscles are trembling, my resting heart rate is 90 ppm. And I can feel the adrenaline and cortisol pumping through my veins. It's a good thing I have prior practice preventing panic attacks, or else I'd surely be curled into a fetal ball of suffering by now. Don't worry, internet friends, I've learned my lesson. Next time I'll only take one swig. That was an awesome story. Brilliantly, beautifully written. Shout out to Reddit user Captain__Cow. That was unbelievable. Thoroughly enjoyed that story. Is it bad? I also kinda wanna try some of Captain Cow's particularly potent pick-me-up potion. It sounds lovely. Imagine the amount of ASMR videos I could get done in one night on that stuff. Okay, we are gonna finish with this story. TIFU by getting scammed for $2,000. And this story has 10,500 upvotes. So, I'm a truck driver and last night I got scammed for $2,000. It happened at the terrible gas station right before Las Vegas. I parked there to go to sleep and shut down for the night. I went down from my truck to walk around and stretch my legs. As I was walking around, a black SUV pulled up next to me and a rich-looking Middle Eastern guy rolled down his window in a panic. He looked desperate and his wife was in the back seat crying with her 2 kids. He was asking for help because his wife's purse got stolen in Vegas and it had all their things in it like money and their passports. I saw how distraught this guy was acting, so I took $30 from my wallet and I was going to give it to him. He pleaded with me that he needed more because he was heading to San Francisco, so he offered his necklace and gold ring. I refused and told him to just take the $30 so I could just go back to my truck and rest. He kept begging me and offering his jewellery. I started to feel bad for the guy, so I went to my truck and got $100. I was willing to give this guy $130 for free. I told him I don't want his jewellery, I just wanted to help him and his family. He said he cannot take it for free and offered his jewellery still, but said he would need more money. This is when I should have just walked away. Call me foolish and naive, but I just wanted this guy to go away so I could rest. So I figured that if I gave him like $300, I wouldn't feel guilty taking the jewellery and he could have enough money to make it to San Francisco. He kept pleading and begging and adding more jewellery, and before wife starts crying more and saying that they needed money for new passports, and now it's $300 per person, and that there's 4 of them. The guy offered the last bit of jewellery he had, which was a Rolex watch, that he said costed tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, like, go to a pawn shop then if this is true, which obviously it's not because he evidently gets scammed, but this is where I believe my greed got a hold of me, because this guy is telling me he's a rich guy from Dubai and he doesn't care how much the jewellery costs. He's just desperate for cash so they can make it to San Francisco, then back to Dubai. I don't know much about jewellery, so I thought if I gave this guy $1,200 for his Rolex watch, I could sell the jewellery and get my money back at the very least. So in total I gave this guy $1,950 for 2 gold necklaces, 1 gold ring and a Rolex watch. I was sceptical of course, but like I said, I think my greed was clouding my judgment. Once I gave him the money, he began thanking me so much and prayed to his God, etc, etc. He hopped back in his SUV and drove off. I watched him drive off all the way till he went to the freeway. I realised something though. This effing guy took the freeway entrance going back to Vegas. That's when my stomach turned and I knew instantly that I just got lied to. His whole story was about how he needed money to go to San Francisco. I walked back to my truck and laid down trying to process what just happened. I was staring at the jewellery and then I looked up how to tell if a 18K gold necklace is fake. That's when I saw a news video on YouTube about people getting scammed on the road by Middle Eastern guys offering their jewellery. The news described exactly what I just went through, and that the jewellery these scammers use is obviously fake. I feel like an idiot and can't believe how naive I was to fall for this scam. I never thought I would fall for something like this, especially since I watched scam call videos like Kid Poker on YouTube. Yeah, you are an idiot, but saying that, you can watch all the scam videos in the world. I think when you're in that situation, if you're watching a family breakdown crying, your natural human instinct kicks in that you want to help. I can't believe this guy was just pulling out cash after cash after cash though. But that guy is just absolute scum. Like, there's no way around it. He is absolute scumbag. But it's kind of scary that he's got his whole family in on the operation, and surely traumatic for the kids, no? But yeah, some people just do anything to get money. Obviously they may be from a terrible background or whatever, but still, there are better ways to make money. Not that, but I think well done to you for, you know, being human and showing some compassion. But unfortunately you are $2,000 down, so you maybe should have been a bit more of a knobhead, to be honest. But anyways, I think that is going to do it for tonight's video. 4 very different but equally all pretty entertaining stories. We had a scam, we had a boo story, we had a relationship story, and then a guy cooking up his own caffeine-based drug. Top tier ASMR video if you ask me. I really hope you did all enjoy this video. Do let me know if you'd like to see more of these TIFU videos, or are there any other subreddits you'd like for me to check out and whisper through. I barely use Reddit, so any advice you guys can give me would be much appreciated. But that is going to do it for tonight's video. If you did enjoy this video, then